Let's talk about charity. The Bible instructs us to give 10% of our income to our church. So that's one thing, and that's in my budget. So part of my budget line items every month is my charitable giving to the church. But it doesn't just stop there, and that's not the only place you should be charitable. Um, there's lots of other charities, like I love dogs, much more than most people. So I give the Beagle Freedom Project because I grew up with beagles my whole life, and I love beagles. Um, Lots of other animal stuff. Veterans, there are different charities like that, but a lot of people think that these charities will get along without them, and that's not always the case. And as you're blessed with your skills and blessed by God in your businesses and your careers, I believe you should give back some of this, either in time, maybe when you're poor, you have a lot more time. You can volunteer places as you grow in your business or your job or your career. You have more money that you can donate to these businesses. So think about that. Always set aside some money, obviously, for your tithe, but also for other charitable events, businesses. These help your communities, things near and dear to your heart, whatever they are. Our business, my business sponsors different charities, and we're really getting back into that to donate to charities and do more with that besides the stuff I do personally. And it doesn't stop there. Again, volunteering to be a coach like I did for you guys for years as a sports team, volunteering to be on the PTA, volunteering to be on things at work in your sorority. Those are all forms of charity. And another thing that is kind of along charity that you guys have seen me do, and I enjoy doing, is just giving to others, is often buying someone's lunch or dinner. And just people don't do that anymore. I grew up with my dad always doing that, I guess, and being from Louisiana, kind of food is our love language, I guess, eating. And my dad always did that. He was very fortunate to have a good job, and he would buy meals for people, business, family, etc. So I do that quite often, and it stuns people. And even occasionally I'll buy meals for somebody. I see a client in a restaurant, and I'll have their check brought over, or a friend. That's a little gesture that means a lot to somebody, and you never know what they're going through, so that can really change their day. And I consider that a form of charity and giving to others, doing things for other people in your community. So when you're out, think about that. Maybe you're out with a friend, or you see some friends somewhere, pick up the tab, see how that changes their day. You don't do it necessarily for gratification, although it feels good to help other people. But I enjoy doing that even when we're out traveling. I've done that, before. When you see somebody, or maybe you just meet somebody, or you hear somebody at the table next to you talking about, they're out for an anniversary or something like that. So think of all the different ways. Not always money, because a lot of times, like I said, you have a lot more time than money when you're young, or in certain periods of your life, that you can donate and give to others. Again, this is something I expect of you guys to do. It's something we should do. A lot of people didn't grow up with this, so they have no example, no light, nothing to look back on and think, my parents did this, and they were always my coaches. They were always my PTA, like your mom was always involved in the school stuff. They have no frame of reference for that, so they don't even think about it going forward. And that's why today so often places fail, things don't get off the ground or can't keep it up because there's no volunteers to help them out. There's no one donating, even small amounts, $10, $20, $50 to a charity, if done by a few hundred people, can make a big difference. So think about that. Always set aside some of your money as you budget for tithes and charities to help out others around you, and see what you can do for your community.